Welcome from Vera to Security. Navigating compliance can be daunting, but remember, security is a continuous journey. Let's embark on the path to stronger protection together. Enjoy the video. Hi, and thanks for checking out this vendor assurance and vendor tracker from Vera to Security. I'm Linda. I'll be walking you through the example today. So I'm going to start just by using the sharing URL that you'll find in the description and on our website as part of the blog post. Obviously, Google's telling me I haven't gone through all the tutorials. So one of the things that I want to do here, well, first of all, let me copy it. So I'm going to make a copy. Then I'm going to go to my drive. And I should find this item here. What I want to do is create a new folder. I'm just going to call that vendor assurance. I'm going to move this over into that folder. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to rename this. So I'm going to call it Linda Vendor Tracker, and I'm going to take off the fact that it is a copy. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and open this form. No tours. There's a missing folder because we allow people to upload assurance documents like SOC 2 reports or questionnaires. So we want to go ahead and restore that. And that'll restore in your folder. So this is pretty standard. You got a vendor name, vendor service description, website. One of the things I want to do is I want to make sure that I have a sheet for my responses. So I'm going to create a new sheet to hold those responses. So we'll have that up here and waiting. And then what I want to do is go ahead and create a new response. So I'm going to view this. And I'm just going to start with a simple one and say we're doing Canva, images for marketing. I'm not going to put in the vendor contact. I'm going to do canva.com. It's active vendor. Here I have outlined some pretty standard customer data categories. In this case, Canva is company not sensitive. It's not a GDPR sub-processor kind of application. It's medium because it would set our marketing group back if they had to recreate everything. I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm going to guess this is like a low risk rating. And then we have some folks in the group. I'm just going to pick owner and admin. For these two guys, set in my review date, put myself in as the reviewer. And then I'm going to submit. Now I can go over right away and I will see all this data filled in. One of the things that pops up here, you'll see is that I can go in and edit my response with this link here. Now, I will get an email as well telling me how to edit the response. However, if somebody else wants to go in later and update that vendor, it's harder to get to edit a response. So I'm going to show you some things that you can add to make this a little bit easier. All right. So now we have the form. It's connected to a spreadsheet. And there's one other piece I want to show you, and that is in the script editor. Okay, so in the script editor, you'll see that there's some global variables at the top. These are the 3 that I want you to pay attention to. If you want in your spreadsheet that you've created to have these extra columns available, first thing you have to do is make sure that there's columns with those headers attached to them. So edit URL, calculated risk rating, and you may or may not need it, but you can also have the response ID populated. Now, even if you run these scripts, unless the script finds those column headers, it's not going to do any work to create that data. So if you don't want any of these, then just don't create those columns. It's really straightforward. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the form submitted, because that's what we're talking about here, is when the form is submitted, I want this extra data captured. And I'm going to go ahead and try running it. It's going to tell me that I have to set up permissions. It's not a verified app, so I have to sort of get past that. You have to trust me a little bit with the code, but you can see it all. There's nothing crazy going on in the code. So I've got a little bit of a debug output happening here, but you can see that it's company not sensitive, which was what we set for the type of data that was contained here. And when we look, now we have a edit URL, so we can easily get back to edit that particular record. We've got a calculated risk rating that we can use to determine if we want to make any changes to the risk rating that shows up on the form. And we have the response ID should we ever want to use that for anything in the future, any kind of programmatic manipulation of the form, etc. All right, so now I'm just going to go back. We have the script. Now, the way it's set up at this point, if I go in and I want to submit another response, and let's just do Salesforce. And this is customer and sales data. And we'll do, let's see, salesforce.com. Vendor status is active. All right. I know that we have publicly available customer data in there, things like phone numbers, email addresses are a little bit touchy, but we do talk about the customers and add extra things to the record. So I'm going to say that there could be company or customer secret or confidential data kept there. And this is definitely a GDPR type of app. They are a sub-processor, and I'm going to say that, to rip it out and put something else in would take a little bit of work, or if it went down. I'm going to say that the determined risk rating is high. I'm going to go ahead and select the owner and admin again. I'm going to put in my review date and set myself as the reviewer. All right, let's submit that. Now we have the script set up and we have the columns, but what you'll notice is that for the second row here, the new fields are not filled in. That's because we actually have to go back and we have to run this code again. And it will add it just for the row that's empty. One tip for this is that if you ever change any of the code and you want to go back in and have any of these recalculated, you can just delete all the data and all of it will get repopulated when the script runs. But we want this script to run every time the form's created so the data is always there. So for that, we're going to go into triggers. And I'm going to add a trigger. And I'm going to say, when the form is submitted, I want the on form, I'm sorry. In the event type on form submitted, I want the form submitted function to run. I'm going to go ahead and save that. And this is the same thing. It's going to ask me if I want to assume that everything is safe here. All right, so I have the form submit happening. So now when I come back in, let's add another row. And this time I'm going to put in Stripe. They do payment processing. All right, go to the next page. In this case, we have PII and privacy data. They are a subprocessor, and I'm going to go ahead and say that that's critical to rip out. It'd be very hard. And I'm also going to put critical because I think that the data is hard to how to replace, right? If we rip them out as a vendor. Put in my date. Lastly, put myself in as a reviewer. Hit submit. And now when we look at the vendor assurance page, we'll see that we have those 3 fields filled in because we had the script triggered when the form was submitted. So that's it for this segment of the vendor assurance. Look for another video highlighting how on the form, when you go to view a response, right, or edit a response, I'm going to show you how you can tailor this data to be your own. Have employees added, decide if you want just owner admin here or all 4 items, and we'll do that dynamically from the spreadsheet. So that'll be in our next video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us today. If you found value in this video, consider subscribing for more insights on cybersecurity and compliance. Remember, together, we can make the journey to better security easier. Until next time, stay safe and vigilant.